Hello, I'm Scott Soshnick.
And I'm Eben Novy-Williams, and this is the Leo Messi's Coming to Town sports business podcast, the Sporticast.
Oh, Mark, we grade Eben's introductions from time to time. I thought he brought good energy on that one, which was good. I think it was very literal and easy to predict. Yeah, I thought he could have done more in the creativity. So if this is diving, there's degree of difficulty and artistic impression, all that stuff. Degree of difficulty, very low score. Artistic impression, I give him a little bit of a better slot. You tell me, how do you think he did?
I think he did okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Considering the circumstance and the obvious circumstances that bring us together, I think it was great. But I'm happy to be here, guys. Thanks
I was thinking about singing it in the Santa Claus is Coming to Town jingle style and then decided against that. That might have gotten me lower scores.
You would have gotten lower scores. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Exactly, yeah.
Eben, have we had anybody who has an accent above any letter in their last names on the show as of yet, or is Marc de Grandpré the first?
Great question. I'm trying to think. This might be a Sporticast first.
Congratulations, Mark. General Manager, Red Bull. First person on the show with an accent over the name. So congratulations and welcome.
Thank you guys for having me. Wow, this is an honor. First one with an accent. Wow.
But hey, this is a big time for you. We do a lot of soccer, and I grew up. I played soccer my whole life. I played a lot of countries played soccer, and we've been hearing for a long time soccer's coming in America. Mm-hmm. But this last 2-3 week, 4, whatever it's been, this period of time where Leo Messi joined Inter Miami and MLS, and right from the first game scoring the goal, there has been this crescendo of popularity, attention, fandom, all of it. How would you characterize what we've seen in terms of Leo's arrival?
I think it's been unprecedented. Did we anticipate that he would come in, score the goal that he did in that first game, and then build game upon game upon game to end up winning in PKs in Nashville? I've said this before, but could we have scripted this and would have everyone bought it in Hollywood? No way. They would have said, no, it's not going to be that, it's not going to be that poetic, but it was. And it's been great for Leagues Cup, for our league. And combine that with the Apple deal that the league we launched this year collectively. Think about the global reach here we're having and the interest around the world for MLS, for Leo being in Miami, and then what it does for all our clubs. It's been phenomenal. It's been amazing.
Given where you sit, obviously the Inter Miami coming to play Red Bull this weekend on the 26th. You're obviously rooting for Red Bull there. For games that he is not playing directly against you, is everyone in the league rooting for Messi? Is this just the kind of thing where you see the opportunity, the eyeballs, everything that's going to come with increased attention for the league?
Yeah, I think everyone wants to see some success on their part. And until they show up in your building, right? Exactly. We want to be hopefully we'll have the opportunity to be the first team to beat them, right? Let's see what happens tonight in their U.S. Open Cup match. And then Saturday we can take care of business and break their streak. But we want them to succeed because it helps, everyone ultimately gain some momentum and exposure and awareness. And I can't peel my wife off the TV if he's on right now. Never seen this before, but she is glued to the TV while he's out there.
Now, my wife is not a huge sport or soccer fan. So this is not a soccer thing, just sport in general. Like, big stuff, that's fine. But as I told you, I will be traveling this weekend, or else I would be there. I live about 10 minutes from the arena, which we affectionately call the Silver Marshmallow every time we pass on the New Jersey Transit, by the way. But my wife came to me and said, hey, Messi's coming to Red Bull. Can you get tickets? But she knows my wife does love a big event, no matter what it is. She loves event-driven casual sport fan. She wanted to go. She made the request, and rarely does that happen. I think that sort of cuts to the heart of what we're talking about here, that it has reached the casual sports fan who wants to be a part of this.
Yes, I think if you look at the demand for the game, right, it sold out on our platforms instantly. And not only from the casual sports fan, but from the celebrities. I mean, we've never seen
who do you got? Let's go. Light it up. This is going to be like a Madison Square Garden front row?
You're going to have to absolutely find a way to torture me for me to release any names here, but it's some pretty good.
Scott,
Wait,
your
I
wife-
have to,
your wife
I have
on
to
the list.
torture you. How about I make you listen to the shows that I missed last week? Just Eben alone and Eben and Jacob on loop. I give you 2 shows in, and I'll have these answers.
So it's the casual sports fan and then media, right? On a regular MLS match game, on an MLS game, we have 70 requests for media. We have over 400 media requests coming from all over the world. For this game, it's New York. They want to be here. And to your point, Scott, it's an event. And people who probably have never been here want to be part of this event and say, hey, we saw Messi in New York playing his first game, his first regular season game in MLS. So it's going to be exciting.
So, Mark, I want to actually drill into kind of what happens the minute that you guys hear Inter Miami is going to have Messi for this game. You have season ticket holders, obviously. They had tickets to this game a long time ago. Yeah. Some people probably bought long before Messi was here. There's a game here. I'm going to go to that game. I imagine you had some unsold inventory. The minute you heard Messi was going to be here, the team immediately knows that inventory is probably worth more than it's listed on the website at this current second. Do you take those down? Walk us through exactly what you do to maximize what you're talking about, the value of having such a high-profile game in your stadium at the end of August.
Yeah, Eben, that's a great question. The process was there was inklings that he was coming, right? There was some rumblings, there was some rumors. So when we released our schedule originally, we didn't release any tickets for that game, for the Miami game.
Intentional.
Interesting.
Then it cooled down. So we're going to make some inventory available because we don't want to be caught behind the 8 ball as we get closer. Then it was officially announced. We removed all the inventory. So we had a plan in place if this would occur, and it was mirroring what we did for FC Barcelona last year. The only way people could get tickets through our platform was if you bought a partial 4-game plan. So you get Messi in 3 other games. We did the same thing for groups, 10 tickets plus. You need to get another group for another match in the season. That worked out well for the Barca game, worked out well this year. And what I loved about what it did during the Barca game is that show rate for the following 3 games was very, very high. We expected some attrition, and some people would say, hey, I'm going to commit to this game, and the next 3 I'm never going to show up. But we had over 80% of those folks come back to Red Bull Arena for those 3 games. So that's really good. So we got them in the funnel. We stayed engaged with them. And this year, we've built those relationships, got some of those folks back. We've had a record-setting week when we launched our Red memberships for next season. We sold more new Red memberships than we ever have in the history of the club in 1 week. And that's building those relationships and leveraging those partial plans from last season.
How big is the gate relative to a normal Red Bull game for this game on Saturday, Inter Miami, versus, let's say, a home game you had in July or June?
It's about 2/3 larger.
Wow. Okay.
2/3. Yeah, it's the largest gate we are ever going to have at Red Bull Arena by far for an MLS match.
And on a secondary market, just to stay on tickets for a second, do you work with a secondary market partner? Were tickets pulled down off of secondary as well? I'm just trying to get a sense of the whole ticket strategy, knowing that he was going to be coming here and it would be probably his first MLS regular season game.
Yeah, so our plan and goal was to make the process as seamless as possible through our platforms, partner with many platforms to make sure it was as seamless as possible. And that was our goal. As you can see now on Ticketmaster, our official ticketing partner, there's verified tickets for resale, and that value keeps going up as every day goes by, and as the inventory goes down.
Do you get a cut of a resale?
From our fans are reselling, no, we don't.
Oh, we need some blockchain here where you get a cut each time. This is where tech and sports is coming together.
There you go. It's going to happen, I guess. We'll make it happen next time.
Dan Gilbert tried this a number of years ago with the Cavaliers, tried to kind of create a closed ecosystem where he would also be participating in the secondary market. And I think from a
was that flash seats, Eben? Is that memory hitting me quickly? Was that flash seats?
That may be right. Yeah. Essentially, it just created such the fans revolted against it. It was just so difficult, and the barriers were so high for fans to sell and buy that I think the Cavaliers decided it wasn't worth it to have a closed ecosystem anymore.
Yeah, as the whispers were starting, Mark, and we're talking with Marc de Grandpré, GM of Red Bull, hosting Lionel Messi and Inter Miami this weekend. When those whispers are starting, do you call over to MLS, hey, Don, help me out here? What am I doing with these tickets? Am I leaving them out there? Should I pull them back? Hey, Jorge, por favor, Jorge Mas, necesito información. Anybody help? Like Jorge was tweeting some stuff, but it was cryptic. Did you get any help on the inside that steered you towards your policy?
So let me start before the schedule was announced. And this occurs in late December. We release our schedule. We were working with the league to make sure that our home game against Miami would be in the latter part of our season in the second half.
Smart.
With the hope that this would occur. So we worked with the league, made it happen. So that was, check number one sort of in the plan. We can host them. And then we had constant communication with the league and also with my counterpart in Miami, Javi, saying, hey, is this going to happen? Is this a reality? And I would ask him, should I just release all the inventory now? Say, oh, give me another 2 weeks, give me another 3 weeks. So we had good conversations, and I'd say it was collaborative because we all know that everyone would win if this occurred. It was fun.
I've been wondering about this, Mark. Just in looking at the Inter Miami schedule, the back half of their schedule, they are playing in some of the biggest venues and biggest media.
Now we know Novy-Williams. No fue accidente.
They go Red Bull, biggest media market. They play at Chicago. They play at Atlanta. They play at Charlotte. All of those are NFL venues. There's a game at LAFC, another kind of premier spot as well. It seemed as though the schedule was made deliberately with the idea that there is a chance that the back half of this Inter Miami schedule is going to be a very high-profile series of games for this league and for some of those teams.
Yeah, I think there was some thought put behind that, I'm sure.
So one other question, because I've talked to a few teams that are hosting Messi in the back half of the season, and one of the things I've heard from at least one of them is that they are looking to find other parts of their stadium that maybe are not ticketed for normal games, but to increase just the inventory, not just standing room only, but to increase the capacity of their stadium for this game so they can sell a few more tickets. Is that something you guys looked at, considered, or are doing? Are there tickets available for this game that are not available for other Red Bull games?
There used to be a potted plant in this corner. Has that been removed for a standing room only ticket?
Yes, we're literally turning every stone over to make sure we can have as many people and fans and guests in the building. But yeah, our building is we can't find more seats now. We are at capacity. I wish I could find a way to get it done, but it's impossible for us. For a hot second, guys, we thought about going down the street to MetLife. But the Giants, the Jets and Giants are playing, and ultimately when you step back and think about it, it's better. The experience here will be better for everyone. Real grass, soccer-specific stadium, and also to reward our partners who've been with us, who have signage in the building. We needed to make sure they were part of this celebration.
For listeners who don't know, the MLS schedule is a bit more art form than NFL, for example, where it's very, very set who you're going to play, home or away, etc. Do you know the next time that you guys are hosting Inter Miami, and is there lobbying in 2 years to try to make sure that the next time it's available that Messi comes back? What's the situation for the next time you maybe host this team?
So we're in the process of starting to, we fill out a questionnaire, we send it back to the league on dates we want to block in the building for other events and all that. Then the league comes back to us with a draft of the proposed schedule, and then there's a little negotiation here and there that goes on. Yeah. It's a lot easier now with the Apple deal. We know that it's, Saturdays at 7:30 or Wednesdays, so it's a lot easier to manage for everyone. And yes, once it comes out, there may be a conversation, but I think we're going to stay here. We're going to stay for the duration while he's here. We're going to play our games here.
Yeah, I'm curious, how far along did those conversations about MetLife go? Was it, let's ask, we can't because they're playing, or how far did it go, and when did it become apparent that was not really a possibility?
It was literally 5 seconds when we were in a meeting discussing this, putting all the ideas on a wall, and someone just checked online and said, not happening, Jets and Giants are playing. And then I just confirmed with Ron, who was the president of MetLife, and he said, yeah, not happening. I said, okay, good. So it was 10 seconds.
I mean, we could make the argument. This would be fun. Like, imagine the discussion just 2 months ago, Mark, where, hey, we need to move the Jets or Giants for an MLS game, right? You would just be laughed out of the room. you could make the argument that the demand, even Jets-Giants fan, you get tremendous crossover here, would rather see Leo Messi playing at MetLife and seat 80,000 plus for that game.
I would assume, the marketplace would want it, right?
Yes.
More people who would have access to tickets. It'll be interesting to see how many folks show up at their place Saturday. See the energy. I'm pretty certain the energy in this building will be a lot higher.
And wait, you have a concert too, right? So, I mean, was that pre-planned?
Yeah, so this game was our hip-hop celebration match where we rolled out our third kit. They're going to play with it. So pre-game, we have DMC from Run DMC playing a set. We have DJ Scribble. We have Vin Rock and DJ K from Naughty by Nature playing pre-game. So they'll be playing pre-game, then post-game there's a little set, and then we are going to have an amazing fireworks show.
I can rhyme you down with OPP. You know Messi. I can do this. If look at Eben, look at him. Look, he knows what.
Scott, if you weren't on the road for some hockey tournament somewhere in the far western parts of New York, you could be here doing this.
I'll be tuning in from Buffalo to see how things are going. And Mark, I'm going to ask you this coming out of left field. What are you wearing on your feet right now? What's your shoe of choice?
Adidas Stan Smith.
Stan Smith. Okay, so with the green on the back? I hated that they changed it, that you can get different colors. You got the green on the back?
No, let me check here.
Oh.
No, these are the blue ones. Sorry.
Oh, Mark,
it's
that
not
hurts.
The original. Sorry,
that hurts. That hurts.
That's real sneaker fashion.
Yeah, that's sneaker fashion. Yeah. But let me know if you've heard of this. I stumbled upon this article, and I whipped it out on Eben Novy-Williams in the last podcast, and we're amazed by this. But I think there's a real opportunity here for everything we're talking about. Vogue magazine. So, Anna Wintour territory. Vogue magazine is telling me that soccer cleats, not your flat-bottom Samba that you saw years ago, that cleats are becoming, and how do you like this word, Eben, de rigueur as a fashion statement. People are wearing cleats, clickety-clack on cement slippery.
Come on.
Yes, I swear to you. Have you seen anybody walking around the office in cleats?
No, and I hope I don't. But I haven't seen it yet. But I'm sure, you know what? Our young, energetic, culturally in-tuned sales force or marketing folks, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens over the coming months. To see kids wearing cleats.
But I thought about it. Imagine if Adidas comes up with this Messi thing at a time when this footwear is becoming hot among influencers and the likes of folks that are going to be coming to your stadium for the first time because Leo's here. Like this, have they been messing up this marketing all along? Like just targeting the parents shopping at Dick's Sporting Goods because their kids are playing that weekend? Or should this be like the streets of Manhattan? We're going to see people like walking gingerly
falling
with
down
cleats.
The subway stairs.
Yeah. I'm just amazed by this, but it strikes me as something like Don Garber's got to be grinning ear to ear. Every MLS owner's got to be grinning ear to ear that this is just becoming cultural touch points and so much more than just the game. This is what you want. This is complete penetration.
That is amazing. If it does occur, and it seems to be that I am not the most forward fashion thinker, I'm not there yet. Maybe I'm going to have to try it out one day, and maybe Saturday, guys, I'll show up with my son's Adidas cleats and make a statement. See how many people look at me with an odd look.
Well, then you have to have the Vogue magazine teed up on your phone and show it to them. I'm gonna try and get the headline of the story. You still have it up?
This would be great.
I can find it.
I'm going to be starting a trend here at Red Bull Arena Saturday.
Yeah, good. I want to see that.
The Vogue inspiration.
Here it is. Here's the headline. It's time to retire your Adidas Samba for a pair of cleats. Seriously. I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it to you. So just wait. Can you see? Wow. There it is.
Oh yeah. No. Oh wow.
That's insane to me.
This may help business at HSS, our partner. A lot of people are going to be slipping and falling, and they're going to need some orthopedic support and services. HSS may benefit out of this too, also.
Yeah, very nice, Mark. Well, way to
any other way. Let's be really good hosts, Eben. You ready? Let's be really good hosts. Now, don't take advantage of us, Mark. Don't take advantage. We're being very nice. Why don't you just mention 3 of your sponsors. Let's just give the sponsor moment here. We had HSS. You mentioned Ticketmaster. Just give me a list of 3 sponsors that, I know somebody's going to yell at you if you leave it off. I'm sorry. But give us 3 sponsors.
You're only giving me 3. So we've got Audi.
Oh, good sponsor.
We've got Provident Bank.
Yeah.
And we've got Hackensack Meridian Health. There's the 3 I'll mention.
Perfect.
And there's many more that have been great partners. But I will refrain myself per the guidelines you just gave me.
And on that topic, Marc, I'm curious. We've talked a lot about what this one game means for you financially. Outside of Messi coming to town, and you mentioned a little bit about some season ticket packages for next year, I think. Have you noticed a boost in your business that you attribute to the general halo of having Leo in the league? I'm curious. Again, he comes to town, great. You're going to do a monster business on that night. But what do you see in your business outside of this one game that you think is maybe influenced by his decision to sign?
What's the real Leo effect?
So for certain guys, we're going to see an effect on our red member base, as I mentioned, for next year. I think that is part and parcel playing a role in driving this record week we had when we launched our new season ticket package for 2024. Partnership conversations, some that were, I'd say, sort of lukewarm, are heating up, gaining momentum. We're going to announce shortly that we're going to have our stadium naming rights out available in the marketplace. We've had some conversations, and those seem to be speeding up or accelerating faster than normal. So on the partnership side, we're seeing a lot more momentum, and I think I can't deny it. Messi has to play an effect there. Even on our youth program business, right? We have a large youth program business across the tri-state area. We run camps. We run soccer for communities. That business has been consistently growing, but participation has grown since Messi has been announced because people want to be connected with soccer, and MLS now. It's at the forefront of their decision process, and that helps us.
This seems like a good time to start naming rights conversations, just given, again, the halo in the league itself. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Red Bull Arena has never had a naming rights partner since it opened?
No.
One might think that it's Red Bull. But, I mean, if you've ever seen the marketing that Red Bull is known for, I'm surprised there aren't people parachuting and jumping off of it and all that stuff.
Yeah, no. So this was a long discussion internally about should we do it or not do it. But yes, now we're going to see if there's appetite to get a partner at the arena.
Somebody helping you out with that, or are you guys doing it solo?
We haven't finalized that agreement, but we'll have someone helping us out. Absolutely.
By the way, we're going to bring my wife back in. True story. She went to high school with Tyler Adams' father.
Wow. That's
awesome. Wappingers?
Yeah.
Up in Wappingers Falls, New York. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Wappingers Falls. Hillside Lake, everybody. Shout out to Hillside Lake up in Wappingers Falls. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. And now he just signed with Bournemouth. We're happy for him. He's wearing the right colors again. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm just amazed. Let me ask you about the Apple deal. Is it how has the view changed? I think there was much more skepticism at the start. What is the Leo signing to? And by the way, did you hear the good news that there was a mistake on Leo's birth certificate? He's actually 22. So that's really good news for MLS. Yes, really good news for MLS.
Everyone.
Yeah, but he's actually a 22-year-old. But has it changed? We keep hearing about subscriptions. Do you guys get data on that? What is Apple telling you in terms of sort of how things are going and sort of just any data about the deal? Seems to be shrouded in a bit of secrecy.
So your point about sort of was there skepticism whenever there's sort of a sea change, right? This was a big change in the way we presented our games, and going all digital and global with one partner. Whenever there's change, there's a little skepticism or hesitation. I'll tell you, we've been overwhelmed with the way it's gone. I think getting our fans and our viewers to adapt, download the platform and get used to it. Once you get used to it, it's a great product, right? Now you have the multicast is phenomenal. You can watch 3-4 games together. It's been fun. We do get some data, but it's high level. I can just tell you that Apple is very happy with where we are now and certain milestones we've reached. And obviously Messi has accelerated some of that growth. But in terms of broadcast quality, we went through some hiccups, but it's getting better and better, and they keep improving. And we know that Apple, the brand they have globally, their standards in terms of execution, quality, all those things are going to pay dividends long term. And you see it's happening across other leagues. That shift, we were the first ones to do it. It's going to occur more often, and it's going to become more of the norm rather than the outlier.
Your take, if I may, since we're just talking about future growth and innovation, and your take on what we're seeing out of the Saudi League? I mean, you can't compete with that. I'm just your thoughts on, is it sustainable, and what does it mean for MLS? I mean,
did compete
Messi's
with it
here.
on Messi.
Yeah. Messi said no.
In that regard, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But
I think we compete in a global landscape, which is different than any other major league sport in North America. It raises sort of the stakes ultimately in terms of the investments we're going to have to make if we want to become a top 5 league in the world. I think for them it's sustainable, but I'm not sure financially in Saudi, it's not an issue to keep this money flowing. But ultimately, I think the growth is going to come to North America and in our league, and you're going to see more players like Messi, younger, in the prime of their careers, want to come here. And I think Leagues Cup did that. I think a lot of players who came from Mexico with their teams realized we have great infrastructure, great stadiums, and it could be a great place for them to come and play ultimately. So it's going to be a win-win for us.
Mark, going back to the Apple deal for a second, everyone in sports right now, when their media rights come up, is facing this decision of reach versus money and trying to find the happy medium in the middle there. MLS was the first major U.S. league to really go for the money, significantly shrunk the reach a little bit, at least initially, and took a very good and healthy check from Apple. I know a number of teams that I spoke with at the beginning thought about their local TV rights as a marketing thing, that it was a way of maybe selling tickets or getting people into the stadium in the future that might not have found their games otherwise. I'm curious if you saw any difference in terms of now that all your local rights are also on this Apple platform, if you saw any different from a ticket sales standpoint or anything like that.
In terms of ticket sales, I don't think it impacted us, but I do believe that the local flavor that we had with MSG, right, who had been our partner forever, was something our fan base was used to, was welcome, and it gave us a presence on the airwaves locally, right, through MSG throughout the year. That said, I think the Apple deal has done a great job of delivering the game, broadcasting, but there's still opportunities for us to improve the product and provide our feedback to Apple and the league. And part of the opportunities, I believe, is to add maybe a little bit more of a local flavor to the broadcast.
And what does that look like in your mind?
I'd say, one thing I see where there's an opportunity is having more consistency with the broadcast voices for our home matches versus having rotating voices. I think that's something we could discuss and have been discussing with Apple. And then also, I'd love to see more faces at halftime from the broadcast team. All those things are there. But ultimately, I think the global reach is much better for all of us. And the impact it's had for our brand and all the club and the league globally, it dwarfs the local benefits that we had with MSG. I think we're in a much better place now and in the future, and Apple's been an amazing partner to work with.
And I think those voices matter. I mean, Mark, I remember flicking on Channel 9 when I was a kid to watch, the Cosmos during the heyday, and it sticks with me. It was Jim Carvelis and Seamus Mallon. They were there all the time. It's just part of my childhood growing up, the brand as well as the broadcasters. It's all part of it.
I didn't realize that it was a rotating. I kind of assumed that home teams or some kind of specialized announcers for specific teams. I didn't realize that it was a full rotation.
Yeah, I think it's something that we're working with, and I'm sure that Apple and the league are discussing to make sure that we can accommodate for that need. I think it's important.
All right, it's payback now on the sponsor thing. Jay-Z, is he coming? Who's coming? Jay-Z? Jay-Z coming?
Man,
Beyonce?
You tried to slide one in there, right?
Yeah, Jay-Z coming? Who's coming? Huh? Taylor Swift, she coming? She's down at the Jersey Shore. I see. She coming up?
You guys. What do we talk about? I tried. I can't go there.
All right. Well, speaking of not being able to go there,
find out in
can't
a
go
few
there.
days. Yeah, we'll
I
find
don't
out.
give out a lot of advice on the technical side of the game, but Mark, this is freebie stuff. I'm watching. I was so angry at the Messi goal against Nashville. And I come in and we do this. I say to Novy-Williams, I'm putting slow motion on. I'm rewinding to try and find this. I don't understand how that he had a defender with help on the inside, and that dude takes an angle that allows Leo to get to the left foot. I was so angry. It was so easily avoidable if he just made him go right and cut inside. Now, I'm not saying he wouldn't have spun out of it or something. Okay, great. But he gave him the path of least resistance, one touch of the outside of the foot to tee up that shot. So, Mark, I want you to tell your coaching staff, make him, I'm pounding the desk, I may lose you, make him go right.
I'm telling you, Scott, if I am giving any advice to our coaching staff, we're in big trouble.
No,
Let's be
you're just the
honest.
conduit. I'm giving the advice. You're just going to be the conduit. I was on a podcast, and Scott said you need to make Leo go right.
Perfect. I will phrase it just that way. I'll let Troy know and see how he reacts. I'm sure he'll welcome the advice.
Thank you. Marc de Grandpré, GM of New York Red Bull. Thanks so much, buddy. I appreciate it, Mark. That was so much fun.
This was great. Thank you for having me, guys. Really appreciate it.